Join the journey to my pathway to make 100,000 per month. I am not saying it's going to be easy, or it will happen within next day. Follow my book talk, and you will learn at least one thing from my channel. I thank you for those who subscribed my channel before I know it. I am going to talk about how to make 100,000 per month. Using the strategy of Bodo Schäfer, he became bankrupt to billionaire. With his strategies, in the end of my script you will be also the follower of Bodo Schäfer.
Everyone, how much do you want to earn per month within the next 3 years? Today, we'll start by writing this down in the comments. Please write down how much you want to earn per month in 3 years. There's a reason why you need to write it down. The main character of the book I introduced today is the guy who got bankrupt and achieved 100,000 per month within 3 years. He wrote it down, I would earn an income of at least 100,000 per month. So today, who's making 100,000? What was the result? The book I will introduce today is Bodo Schäfer's Leverage of Wealth. The main character who wrote the 100,000 introduced earlier is Bodo Schäfer. And it took just 2.5 years for him, who was broke, to earn 100,000 per month. And now, starting with Bodo Schäfer's money, Bodo Schäfer has created several bestsellers around the world. One of the world's most famous success coaches. I am not saying we all can simply become rich with writing down few words on the papers. In Bodo Schäfer's Noble, there are 15 rules to follow, and anyone with these 15 commands kept in their mind will make at least $100,000 per month in short time. I will start to lay it down, reveal the secrets of those 5 commandments that impressed and touched me. Please subscribe if you want to make 100,000 per month. Also like and follow up for more contents. Let's start right away. First commandment is to love what you do. Love everything. Number 1 piece of teaches self-improvement advice is to do what you love. Oh, there it is again. You might think it's obvious, but look closely. Bodo Schäfer didn't say, do what you love, do what you love. He said, love everything you do. The book says this, just because you are doing something that is difficult to jump into with passion right away, you should not become a helpless victim of your work. Sometimes you have much more power than you realize. It is you who decides everything. It's up to you to decide what kind of mindset you have on how to accomplish the task. It's great if your talents and interests are clear and you enjoy what you do. That's perfect. But most people don't have such clear aptitudes or interests. No matter how much you like doing a job, there are always things you don't want to do mixed in. Even a restaurant owner who really likes cooking may have to manage employees, which can be a headache. And I, who really enjoy creating content, sometimes have to deal with tax-related matters. If you're an office worker, there's nothing more to say. So Bodo Schäfer doesn't say do what you love. He says love what's in front of you. Because if you choose to love, you can really enjoy it. You may be thinking, what nonsense? You can see it right away by looking at your daily life. Everyone's daily life are the same, but you can tell the difference between when you are in a good mood and when you are in a bad mood. Work has not changed. However, when you are in a good mood, you feel relaxed, and even if you do hard work, it is not that hard, and 8 hours of your time flies away. Just being yourself is happy. But when I'm in a bad mood, I don't want to work even for a minute, and every second, and I just sigh. When will it end? Nothing has changed within the work, but the only difference is our attitude. If you think of it as work, you are bound to have a hard time doing it. If you do that, you will be unhappy. Not only will you be unhappy, but it will also have a big impact on your performance. Everyone know the difference between a restaurant that is doing well and a restaurant that is not doing well. When you enter a restaurant that is doing well, greetings are different, and all the employees are in uniform, dress appropriately, and welcome. They greet each other properly, and you can feel the teamwork and energy. However, in restaurants that doesn't doing well, the owner doesn't even come out and say hello, and his voice will always weak in sound. Thank you for coming. The people at restaurants that do well are all example of geniuses in the servicing industry, whom really enjoy serving or cooking. Do you feel the same way? No, the answer is they all decided to work energetically and have fun while work. That choice becomes positive energy, which is passed on to customers, so it is bound to continue to do well. If you actively choose to like the job, whatever you do, you will focus. If you focus, work gets done faster, and the work itself gets better and better. When you have to do a task, do your best every time, and it usually won't take as more than you intended to. You will soon find yourself enjoying the task itself. In general, the reason work takes a long time is because you don't want to work, so you don't concentrate, and you keep scrolling through your phone and opening emails, and you drink coffee and go to the bathroom for no reason. That doesn't work. If you concentrate, it actually ends quickly. Even if you didn't want to do it at first, it doesn't work. You have to choose to love what you do and focus on it, so that you can get the results, and when you start getting results, you really start to like your work more and more. Love everything you do. It's true that you should do what you love, but there are things you can do faster than that. The secret to self-development is to love what you are doing. Second, people who view their work as if it were a game approach it easily. On the other hand, people who approach it too seriously act in a rigid and ungraceful manner, ultimately leading to their own loss. Putting the brakes on your own actions. Consider work as an extension of love. This work should be done as if it were a game. How do you play a game? You don't play it by putting on a suit and sitting upright with a serious expression on your face. You lie down comfortably, almost as if you were hugging a game chair, and don't think seriously. I just freely play whatever comes to my mind. Even if I die once or got scored a goal in a game, I don't consistently worry about what to do next. I just enjoy the moment being. I just enjoy the process, and even if I make a mistake, when I respond, I just admit my losses and try other ways. We all have to enjoy the moment beings. You can make strategies and act with a simple, plain, and flexible mind while working. Bodo Schäfer says to work like a game, because that's how you can be flexible. We work too rigidly. We sit in front of the monitor at our office desk and look at Excel charts or type with a serious expression. Of course, this kind of concentration mode is also necessary when doing simple, everyday tasks quickly. But we are talking about how to raise a high income. High income does not come from being good at Excel or WordPress. It comes from, and that is, the idea of the iPhone is what created Apple. Cell phones. Apple wasn't created by assembling things elaborately and organizing financial statements well. If you want to produce ideas well, you have to approach it like a game. You don't try to plan everything perfectly before you act, and if you fail, you get frustrated and give up. Even if it's an idea or action that looks difficult and seems a little crazy, creative ideas come to mind when you try it and enjoy it. Even if you don't necessarily want to come up with a really crazy idea, we need to think of it as a game and approach things lightly. Try it lightly, like playing a game. We did marketing like this, as if we could win by doing this, and the purchase conversion rate increased. This is not getting a good response from consumers. We need to take a light approach. Only by acting upon it like playing a game will make our action increase. Only by doing the things like playing a game can create creative ideas flexibly. Third commandment. Build confidence. A person's success depends on how confident he or she is. As a result, your income is directly proportional to your confidence. It is up to you to judge the value of your achievements. If you think you deserve a raise, if you do this, you must find an opportunity to increase your wages. At this time, you must be confident. The size is the size of success. The reason is the visible ability. In the book How to Show Your Ability, our ability is not evaluated objectively, but subjectively. Isn't that true? Isn't it true if it's a simple manufacturing industry that evaluates itself based on how many pieces it makes in an hour? Who teaches better? Which store is friendlier? How can we objectively measure things like this with numbers? If the person receiving the service targets their tastes, that's what they're good at. In a situation, the ability to appear capable is as important as the actual ability. And confidence determines that visible ability. So you need to increase your confidence. When the world asks, can you do this? You actually have the ability, but you say no because you are humble. I'm a little less capable, but, of course, I give a chance first to someone who says, I'll give it a try. If you look confident, once the opportunity comes and you get it, you try to make the most of that opportunity, and then your skills improve. And when your skills improve, you say, "Oh, I'm really good," and become confident. This is what happens more. It's not that you are confident because you have abilities, but once you develop confidence, your abilities grow according to your confidence. So how can you increase your confidence? Bodo Schäfer says to keep a success diary. A success diary is a record of the small successes you have achieved today. I'm telling you to write it down in your notebook before you finish. Even the smallest things are good. I greeted everyone I met brightly. I didn't overeat and exercised in moderation. I exercised for 30 minutes. Even small things like this are okay.
Even small things that others don't call success will help your eyes to open, only if you write them down. Gradually, you focus on success rather than failure. As you focus on success, success becomes more and more visible. And as you accumulate success experiences, your confidence eventually increases. Increase your confidence. The size of your confidence determines the amount of income you can earn, which is the level of success. It is the size. The fourth commandment. Share, help, and joy. It is good to help those around you whenever you have the opportunity. The boss of the company you work for will be able to tell very quickly whether you are a person who cheers up the mood or brings it down. The bright mood of the employees will change the atmosphere. This is because it contributes to productivity. There are some people who make the team atmosphere lively and full of laughter. On the other hand, there are people who just want to fight and raise their voices. 99% of people wants to work with lively and full of laughter, even though their abilities are slightly lower, so you will try to work with someone who creates a bright and positive atmosphere. Therefore, Bodo Schäfer says to share, help, and joy. Ask if there is anything I can do for you, and ask, what's the best for you today? You look so good. Ask the person who greets you first. Is there anyone who doesn't like it? This kind of positive attitude will soon become that person's reputation. In addition, lowering the self-confidence mentioned earlier would be the icing on the cake. In the end, everything is done by people, and if possible, it is a human's nature to want to leave work to people who are happy to be with them. Try to create a positive atmosphere wherever you go by sharing help and joy. If you are an employee, your boss will want to work with you even if it means paying you more. If you are a boss, more business partners will choose you as a business partner. Your odds will increase. If you build a positive reputation by helping and sharing joy, this reputation will turn into opportunities. More opportunities will eventually lead to higher income. The last commandment. Strive to be a big person. Don't get excited about small things. Everything actually doesn't mean much. You can understand the size of someone's spirit by looking at what they're excited about. The money a person makes is equal to the size of his or her vessel. The vessel of the rich. Develop your vessel through books on wealth such as The Properties of Money. That's why I like it so much. People with small bowls tend to spend a lot of money without being able to contain it all. One good way to grow a bowl is to not get excited. There are people like that. Even at trivial things, they swear, raise their voices, and blush. Those who lose temperature so fast isn't trustworthy. Think about it. If you ask a business partner to do something, they get red in the face and yell, "Oh, you can't do that. That's too much," and ask an employee, but the employee gets angry and says, "Why should I do that? Would you want to give them a chance?" It's the same for everyone. Staying calm and not getting excited by trivial things is the way to develop courage. In fact, among the many events or problems we experience, there are not many that are important enough to get excited and angry. At best, someone cuts in front of me while driving, or I receive a rude email. I sent it, chewed it, didn't do what I was told to do, etc. It's just small things like that. Of course, since I'm human, I can be irritated and get upset at a moment's notice. But I think that people with a lot of courage can quickly calm down their excitement and be calm. Naturally, minor mistakes made by people around me and coworkers, you can also embrace it and deal with it more gently. And this kind of gentle response once again raises your reputation. Just like helping and sharing joy, it is a way to become someone you want to work with. If you want to increase your income, you must first grow up and become a big person. So far, we have talked about the 5 commandments that create high income. Love everything you do. Play it like a game. Build confidence. Share, help, and joy. Strive to become a big person. How to do sales while talking about high income. Marketing. There wasn't a single piece of technical advice on how to sell something like this. Why is that so? Because in the end, attitude is everything. Everything in the world is done by people. When investment companies invest in startups, they of course look at the marketability of the business item. But more than that, they look at the marketability of the business item. They say that qualifications and attitude are given the most weight. Because no matter what you do, a person with the right attitude is likely to do well in anything. The Title of the book introduced today is Wealth Leverage. However, the most powerful leverage that brings the greatest wealth is loans. It is not about buying real estate or trading coins in stock futures. It's about investing in yourself. Remember, the asset we have with the highest potential return is ourselves. Remember the commandment to become a rich person and grow your own self-worth. Great wealth is bound to follow. Today, I sincerely support all of you who have grown one step further with Book Talk. It is said that the top 1% richest people in around the world have approximately outrun or equal to the other 99% of wealth. With 1 million, you can't even buy a house with the money. And of course, the top 1% did not earn that by just saving their salaries. The biggest increase in real estate prices is probably the biggest thing. But what is surprising is that not all people became rich through real estate investment. It means that there are people who are in that position with an overwhelming amount of earned income or business income. In fact, as of 2022, the average income of households in the top 1% of assets is over 2,000 billion United States dollars. In some ways, it seems natural, but what is not natural is that the rich only accumulate assets. It's not that the income itself is often high. So how did those people increase their income and become rich? I'll tell you the secret today. The book I'm introducing today is Wealth Leverage. Refer to this book and work hard to save money and invest it. Rather than giving obvious advice, I will tell you how to become the top 1% richest by overwhelmingly increasing your income. If you are excited, please subscribe, like, and set an alarm to see more contents. Let's get started right away. First, do something you can sell. Most of the richest people on the planet have things they can sell. I work. What kind of work can I sell? Just think about it. Can I sell the work I am doing to others? Let's think about the job. Bodo Schäfer says this: the meaning of owning a job often does not have much value. This is because office workers cannot sell their jobs. Moreover, when the moment comes when they are kicked out of their job, the idea that they have had a stable job all this time is shattered. Whether you work for Samsung or Apple, if you say that you are the one who will work in the same position, can you sell it? Can you sell it? Boss, I sold my job to this friend. If you tell me that this friend will start working tomorrow, you will just call me crazy. Not only can we not sell our jobs, but the salary we can receive while working is limited. Civil servants, this is a representative example. Excluding the wage increase due to the inflation rate, the salary that can be received for life is calculated in an Excel table. The amount of money that can be received is fixed, and it cannot be sold. So, of course, there are no rich people who only bring their salary. Self-employed people, it's not much different. About 90% of self-employed people say they're selling their store. At best, they only charge a small fee for facility and management fees. That's only when things are going well and business is going well. There are many cases where you have to pay a demolition fee or pay money to hand over the store. You can sell it. You can buy Samsung Electronics and Apple, too. You can buy it. When you buy and sell a company like this, the concept of PR comes in. In the stock market, a PER of 10 means that the market capitalization of this company is 10 times the profit the company earns. In other words, if you want to buy this company, you have to buy it at a premium that calculates in advance how much money the company will make over the next 10 years. Being able to sell it means everything. It doesn't just mean handing over the store. It also reflects future profits and makes money now. You have to do something that can be sold for 5 to 10 times the price or more. Why do some CEOs refuse to receive even a little bit of rights fee, but some CEOs are able to sell their companies for more than 10 times the price? There's only one reason. It is a system. Unless an autonomous corporate system is established, there is no freedom of corporate capital. Entrepreneurs who cannot establish a system have no choice but to fill in the gaps with their own labor. No matter how well the company makes money, if the boss does not work, it will all stop. A successful company is not recognized for its future value. People who buy a company are investors. Investors do not buy a company to work for themselves. They just want to own the company as long as the company runs well and makes money. That is why they are willing to pay more. You are buying a company that runs without you. However, one person is not enough to run the company. This is not buying a company. It is buying a bomb. Then, what we need to do to make a lot of money is simple. We have to create a system that runs without me. This must be Samsung Electronics, Apple, etc. This doesn't mean you have to create a large company like this. Let's take the restaurant business as an example. A restaurant like this cannot be sold because the owner is always cooking in the kitchen and no one tells him the cooking secrets. But the recipes have been completely manualized. It has become a franchise and has several branches. Even if one branch fails, they make a lot of money. A company like this sells, of course. A YouTube channel like mine cannot be run by one person. I am not talking about my channel, but channels led by one person who has become an icon. Do not sell well. Shuka World the same goes for all large channels. So, I am also preparing to do something that can sell my next business. However, like the Knowledge Inside channel, the channel owner does not appear in returns to the format of an interview with an expert. It doesn't matter whether you are the channel owner or the number of views. If you create a system in which content planning is run by the writer and producer, rather than the channel owner alone, it will sell. Remember the lesson of doing something that can be sold, no matter what kind of work you are doing. If you can change your work into something that can be sold, how can you change it? If you can't do that, you need to find something you can sell as a side job. This is the secret to overcoming the limitations of your salary and earning a high income. Second, differentiate yourself. If you were to express the reason why we can't make a lot of money in one world, what would it be? Grant Cardone, the author of the 10X Rule, answered with no name. If you worked hard and didn't get lazy in a certain field, you would have some level of skill. But your competitors would probably also have similar skills. In this situation, who has the finer points? Whether your skills are good or bad, this doesn't mean much. It's just a fight about who is more famous and who is more noticeable. How many cafes are better than Starbucks? But that's not important. Starbucks is more famous. There are more Starbucks stores, so it's also noticeable. It stands out. That's where the game ends. In other words, what we need to overwhelmingly increase our income is not overwhelming skill. Skill is the most important thing, and that only applies to athletes. So what do we need? It's to stand out. It stands out. What is the way to do this? It is differentiation. The basic principle that applies to all occupations is the same. Find a way to differentiate yourself from others. If you do what everyone else is doing, your value is no different from countless grains of sand scattered in the desert. No matter how much you have the best grains of sand, in the end, it's just a grain of sand, no matter how pretty it is. A grain of sand is just a grain of sand, no matter how pretty it is. If you want to make an overwhelming income, you have to be a pearl in the sand, not a grain of sand. The way to do that is differentiation. Differentiating means finding a blue ocean that no one really does. No, in blue oceans, very occasionally, it becomes a huge hit. However, the very meaning of the word blue ocean implies that not many people are looking for it. If this becomes popular one day and the blue ocean grows, it could become a big hit, but no one is looking for it until the end. This means that it can disappear into an unpopular field. On the contrary, most success comes from a red ocean. There is a reason why a field becomes a red ocean. It means that people like it that much and flock to it. Above all, it means that there is a lot of money in the market itself. It is easier to make 10 billion United States dollars in a $100 trillion market than to make 1 billion United States dollars from being first in a 1 billion market. Differentiating means adding just one thing that is different in a red ocean market. The red ocean market is too big. Even if you are the number one company, you cannot satisfy all your customers. There will always be a gap. You have to make a difference by exploiting that gap. For example, if you want to open a cafe, most of you should look at Starbucks, the number one cafe, and follow it. You have to follow everything like the way the clerks serve customers and the cleanliness of the store. There is just one thing to make a difference. Starbucks is all good, but it is noisy because there are a lot of people. So I think people who want to quietly read a book for self-improvement will look for a different place. It is possible. This is how the book Cafe of Desire was created by Jachong. I have been there too, and it is good. If you are someone who is looking for self-development, you should go there at least once. It has the distinction of being an optimized space for reading books, so that becomes an attractive point. Of course, it would be important to promote that point of differentiation well through marketing. But the same goes for YouTube. There are so many book review channels. But why are you watching my channel right now? Many people point out my delivery skills as the reason. But why do my videos look like calendars? I don't just summarize the contents of the book, but I also add my sincere thoughts and impressions and applications. And since it's something I genuinely think is good, I'm trying to convey it clearly and with more confidence so that you can feel confident. So, I'm reviewing the book like everyone else does. It's differentiating while doing it. Remember, we don't need additional skills. We just need to stand out. To stand out, you have to differentiate. You don't have to try to improve too many things or grandiose things. Do the same thing but do one thing differently, and that's it. It becomes a weapon that distinguishes me from countless competitors in the red ocean. Change the last rule. Don't be fooled by the saying that there are laws in the world that never change. All rules are created by people. In other words, all rules can change depending on the person. And you are the rule. There is no objective measure of the value of the work you do. Your value is always subjective. Most of us think that the money we can earn, especially our salary, is fixed, and in reality it is not. There are many. The annual salary of civil servants is set by the government, and the salary table of companies is also set to some extent by the government. However, except for civil servants, the rules can be changed as much as you like. The company's internal regulations are not laws. In other words, they can change the income. If you want to raise your salary, you should not get paid according to the company's rules, but as you want to get paid, you have to evade by the rule of the company. Hey, what kind of American are you? How is that possible in our country? It is possible. Recently, the Ryujin series is coming out on the Draw and Duryu channel, and it has the stage name Dean in it. This is the story of Min Jun Kim and a young startup who is active in the industry. At the age of 22, Min Jun Kim sold the brand he founded to Daewon Pharmaceutical and at the same time became an employee of Daewon Pharmaceutical. At the same time, he negotiated his salary, and the starting salary at the time was around 30 million won. They say I asked for the salary of 3 people because I would be working for 3 people. And I actually received that salary. Of course, this is an extreme case. It is different from general recruitment because I was promoted to a team leader level after selling the company. However, even at a fairly large mid-sized company like Daewon Pharmaceutical, the salary is it is. Important to note that exceptions such as this that ignore the table may occur. It is not much different from other companies, even if it is not an extreme case of raising the salary by 3 or 4 times. It is possible to increase the salary beyond the salary table. Large companies in many cases, when looking for and recruiting the talent they need instead of open recruitment, they often match the salary requested by the other person regardless of seniority. This is especially true in small and medium-sized businesses. For example, if someone comes and confidently says I will make 2 acquaintances, the salary is 1.5. If you say, just give me the boat, will the boss hate it? Of course, there will be a lot of people who won't like it. It's not crazy. There might be people who say get out of the way, but some bosses will say, look at this guy, what is he doing? And want to watch a little more. I've watched him, and he's actually good at his job. You can raise your salary, even if you don't really do the work of 2 or 3 people. You'll think it's okay just to be above average. If you want to pursue an increase in income through negotiation like this, you should work directly rather than going through open recruitment where hiring conditions and work are set. In his book, Schäfer says to go to companies that are not hiring and ask if there is anything I can do for them. Rather, I will give this company some value and increase sales by a certain amount. The idea is to make an offer in an equal relationship like this. Of course, in most cases, you will be rejected and you will be called crazy. But unless you are lying and have no skills, if you can really provide that kind of value to the company, someone will respond to the offer. We'll give you a high price, Bodo Schäfer says, because entrepreneurs are always hungry for confident and capable people. The reason this strategy is effective is because making a proposal itself makes a person look more capable. Think about it. Every day, the boss, please raise my salary by a certain amount. Or give me some work to do. This is our life. If you only look at employees like this and say, please, give me more money. Someone comes and says, please give me more money. I am overflowing with confidence. When I am overflowing with confidence, I look like I am more capable. I emphasize that our abilities are not evaluated objectively. This is especially true in occupations that work with ideas. Then, our abilities only become competent if we think that the other person has abilities. If we make bold suggestions without being bound by the rules, people will become stronger. You look more confident, which makes you look more capable. You look more capable, so you can earn a higher income. Change the rules. Most of the rules in the world are not natural. They can change at any time. To increase your income, you don't have to follow the rules, you have to follow them. We need to change and create. The rich people who earn hundreds of millions of dollars a year are not born with a silver spoon in their mouth or because they are overflowing with talent. In such cases, they are athletes and celebrities. In the rest of the cases, they just became rich because they practiced a different method than the rest of us. Today, I told you the methods. Do something that can be sold. In capitalism, the only way to be recognized as overwhelmingly valuable is to do something that can be sold. If you create a system that runs without a boss and sell it, you will not only earn the money you are making now, but also the future value. You can sell it with recognition. Even if you create and sell a system, that is, a company, the tax rate is much lower than the earned income tax. You only have to pay 20%. You can make an overwhelming amount of money by creating and selling a system like this. Differentiate yourself. What we need is not expertise, it is different. It is different. Think about ways to differentiate yourself. Find the one thing that will make you stand out in the red ocean. Change the rules. All rules can change at any time. In order to increase your income, you should not receive a salary set by the salary table and company. Create your own rules. You can make overwhelming profits when you propose new rules. Today, I sincerely support you as you take a step closer to financial freedom with Book Talk. Let's say money is your middle finger, and someone sticks that finger out with a hammer. Would Taeyeon say, "You're okay, you only hurt one finger, but you still have 4 fingers"? Or would you rather focus all your attention on that one injured finger? How important is money to you? Many people say that money isn't everything in life. That's right, but one just as when your finger gets hurt, all your attention goes to that finger. Money is powerful enough to ruin all other areas of your life. So, in order to protect and nurture other areas of your life, such as your health, relationships, and meaning in life, you need to have enough money. A lot of money means money that can at least sustain your life even if you can't work. In big terms, it means enough money to enjoy the important things that make you happy. Who doesn't do it because they don't know? It's because they don't know how to do it. That's why I prepared it. How to achieve your goal accurately as quickly as possible. You can learn from someone who has already achieved that goal. Bodo Schäfer, a legendary investor and the world's best mental coach who achieved financial freedom at the age of 30, teaches you the mindset method needed to become rich through his legendary book Money. Bodo Schäfer's Rich in Money. Let's talk about the 3 secrets of creating a financial freedom. Then, let's start with Schäfer's Money, an information center leading to economic freedom. First, take responsibility. It is impossible to accumulate wealth if you do not properly recognize that all responsibility always lies with yourself. Responsibility lies with the surrounding conditions of the country. The first secret to becoming rich is to have the attitude that all responsibility lies with you, not with your spouse's education, health, or financial situation. We are truly self-absorbed beings, so when things go well, when things go wrong, I blame others. When the stock market was soaring, I thought I was the god of stocks, but when the stock market crashed, it was like the Russian-Ukraine war, the semiconductor cycle, the interest rate hike, and all kinds of explanations. Bodo Schäfer says it's all your fault. Hey, then is the war in Russia because of me? I didn't fight in. I just worked, but the price went up. Why is this my responsibility? That's right. There are many things in the world that we can't help with our abilities. However, we can't say that we are not responsible for the current reality at all. You are not responsible for every incident, but you are always responsible for how you interpret and respond to the incident. No matter how optimistic or pessimistic the situation is, it is up to you to decide how to accept and respond to it. The current stock and real estate crash market, we cannot reverse it. However, we can sell it ignorantly in frustration of a black swan, or we can use it as an opportunity to reorganize our portfolio by selling high-risk assets among the assets we own and purchasing high-quality assets at low prices. After all, investing is risky. You can squander the money you have on consumption, or you can use it as an opportunity to study in advance what assets to purchase if a real economic crisis comes. As such, in all situations, responsibility lies with ourselves. Time. If we pass on responsibility to the country, this is life. It's like handing over the steering wheel to someone else. We can take responsibility for and change more parts of our lives than we think. We can even change our luck. After COVID-19, many rich people have been born in the stock, real estate, and coin markets. And many people look at them and say, "You lucky." That's right, I said, but this luck is the result of their own creation, not anyone else's. In order to buy an asset when it plummets, you must have sufficient funds on a regular basis. And you must have the ability to recognize that this is an opportunity and quickly without missing the short bottom period. You have to make an investment decision. In other words, the preparation process, such as regular savings and investment study, is what made your luck. So, take on all the responsibility for money. Take on responsibility and create your future. The reason why I am not able to save money now and because I lack investment skills is because of the last investment rule. It's all my responsibility that I didn't catch up on. It's painful at first to take responsibility, but if you have the mindset that you make all the changes, you can make efforts for growth. And when you keep trying, even luck becomes yours. When you take on responsibility, changes occur. If you want to be rich, take responsibility. The best way to prepare for the future is to create the future. Second, be temperate. One day, Bodo Schäfer went to have coffee with his guardian. Suddenly, the guardian started pouring coffee on the floor. Bodo Schäfer was startled. The Guardian said this copy is your talent spilled on the floor for no use. No matter how high quality the copy is, it is worthless without a cup. Without self-control, your talent is worthless. The second secret to becoming rich is self-control. Moderation is a prerequisite for success not only in money but also in all areas of life. To achieve your goals in all areas of study, exercise, and human relations, you need discipline to refrain from actions that prevent you from achieving your goals. However, since this is a video about money, let's only talk about moderation related to money. I will do it. When it comes to money, the part that requires the most moderation is savings. No one can become rich just by making a lot of money. You can only become rich by holding on to money. No matter how much money you make, if you do not save, you are not rich. You are just a high earner. Robert Kiyosaki. If you borrow time, you are only rich according to your income statement. A truly rich person is someone who has accumulated assets through savings and can live only with the cash flow from those assets. But is there anyone who doesn't know that saving is good? We all know that saving is good, but why can't we save money? Bodo Schäfer suggests a concrete action plan for saving. The method is to treat savings as a salary to yourself. No matter how financially difficult a company is, it must pay its employees' salaries. Buy and invest in company products. If you don't pay salaries, the company will go bankrupt in an instant. The same goes for savings. We often spend as much as we can and save what's left over. However, in order to save properly, you have to pay yourself a certain amount every month, just like the company pays its employees' salaries. Put it into savings first. If you put money in and only spend the remaining amount, you have no choice but to save even if you don't want to. On the other hand, if you just think about spending it sparingly, unavoidable things keep popping up and eating away at your savings. It's similar to saving, but there is another field that requires greater self-control. It's light. Of course, bidets also have good and bad shades. A good brush is a small and bad debt that is incurred to purchase an asset that generates additional income beyond interest. Bodo Schäfer says that taking on debt for consumption is foolish and foolish more than you think. So, many people take on debt for consumption. Obsession beyond what is necessary. If you take on debt to buy clothes, etc., it will show up when you buy things, and you will continue to take on bigger debt due to excessive maintenance costs. No rich person struggles to repay loans. To become rich, you have to repay debt. To do that, you still need to be disciplined. Bodo Schäfer suggests concrete action plans for paying it forward. Record all your expenses. Tear up your credit cards. Find new sources of income, etc. But there is a principle that is more important than these measures. 5050. It's a principle. This principle means that when your income comes in, only 50% of it is used to pay off debt and 50% is saved separately. No, I said earlier that you should pay off debt, but that's right. But if you have 100 million USD in debt and can pay off the debt at 1 million United States dollars a month, it's big. It takes over 100 months and 8 years just to wind it up. How many investment opportunities pass by in 8 years? As mentioned earlier in the principle of taking responsibility, luck comes to those who have cash and act quickly when an opportunity arises. If you only struggle to wind up big, you won't have any luck in 8 years. If you save up a little bit of cash, you can increase your profits when the opportunity arises, and as a result, you can pay it off faster and improve your investment skills so you can get closer to financial freedom faster. Just paying off your debt is self-discipline. This is necessary, but in the meantime, you really need a tremendous amount of self-control to save money. In some ways, you have to endure a frustrating and routine life, such as holding back on the spending you want to do and setting a budget and lifestyle pattern. However, when we exercise self-control and achieve our goals, we become truly capable of achieving our goals. You can enjoy freedom. Be disciplined. Freedom means the ability to restrain yourself to realize what you plan. Thirdly, increase your income. Many people think this way. Is it true that my salary is too low compared to the humiliation? Your income is yours. It's almost exactly how much you contribute to the economic market. The economic market neither hates you nor loves you. It just pays you what you're worth. Or, some people say, because prices are rising and your kids need money to go to college. That's why we need a raise. Reporter Schäfer says this: money and opportunity do not answer need, but ability. Supply does not increase just because you need it. This is a heavy, factual assault. The world does not give us money just because we need it. We are paid exactly as much as we contribute to the world. Of course, the company is like a family, so if it exploits its employees and makes the boss rich, he will have to escape. The point is that the market provides a salary equal to my value. So, if I want to raise my salary, I can raise my value. The salary is not increased, but you earn a high salary yourself. Bodo Schäfer says that it is up to you to use how much you earn. If you do the work the company sets out in a set way, you will only receive the salary set by the company. However, you will achieve results that exceed the company's expectations. If you make an effort to collect money and create additional income other than salary, you can further increase your value. However, the idea of increasing your value is too abstract, so Bodo Schäfer introduces the maximum profit formula in his book. This formula is based on qualities, energy, awareness, self-same, ideas. Total it consists of 5 items. Qualifications are items that ask whether you have expert knowledge in your field and what your abilities are compared to the best in the field. Energy is the amount of energy you can or are currently putting into what you are doing. It is your love for your job. Prevalence is how many people you can attract with the services you provide, or how well known you are. Self-worth is yourself. Confidence are the amount of belief you have in yourself that you are special. Ideas are your ideas. It refers to the degree to which you have an open mind toward new things. When a good idea comes to mind, it refers to the degree of practical ability to put it into practice immediately. Qualities, energy, awareness, ideas like yourself. Evaluate each of these 5 items with a minimum of 1 and a maximum of 10. Let's assume that you are a typical office worker. Assuming it's average, 5 points. Assuming you still have a lot of passion, 7 points. Ordinary office workers can't have high recognition, so 3 points. They have high self-esteem, so 8 points. They're creative and have good execution skills. Let's assume 7 points for ideas. Now, multiply all these scores and add 500. If you multiply by, you will get the maximum income you can earn in a month. For the office worker, just as an example, if you do 5 times 7 times 3, the only thing is that awareness is out of 100. Let's assume that the average office worker in the example has all the same abilities, but his awareness has risen to 30 by running a YouTube channel or writing a book. Then, the maximum profit is now 29.4 million won, not 2.94 million won. Here's the key secret to increasing your income. Raise awareness. Bodo Schäfer says spend more time promoting yourself and your products to the market and increasing awareness. Do whatever it takes to promote yourself. Never forget, competent professionals and good information are everywhere these days. Just being competent ain't enough. Other people need to know it. It's up to you to make it happen. We live in an era where awareness means money. Skills are basic, but if you have a certain level of skill, you can get results. What determines it is awareness. You can see it by looking at YouTube creators who earn hundreds of millions of dollars. Teacher Kiwoo, a YouTuber with 1.3 million people, is a hairdresser. It's not accurate information, but he has 1.3 million channels, so he might be the most profitable hairdresser in Korea. But is this person the person with the best hairdressing skills in Korea? Of course, she has excellent skills, but when looking purely at her skills, it would be difficult to say that she is number 1. There must be someone out there who is better at perming than this person, and there must be someone better at cutting hair somewhere in other fields as well. Likewise, there are many teachers across the country who are better at teaching than star instructors. There are also many people who are better at cooking than teacher Baek Jong-won. Nevertheless, the reason why they make more money than others is because of their recognition. Therefore, in order to increase your income, you must also raise your awareness. This is a must-see on YouTube. I'm not saying you should become a social media star, but if you have a certain level of skill in any field, there are many ways to raise awareness, such as lecturing or writing about your field of study. Even if you think nothing will change at first, if you work hard to make your name known, at some point the number of people looking for me is increasing. Remember, in fact, the most important thing among ideas like energy awareness and self-awareness is awareness. If you raise awareness, your income will increase. If you increase your income, you can get closer to economic freedom more quickly. Like it or not, as long as we live in a capitalist society, we will live forever. You have to deal with money, and the sooner you conquer money, the more you can enjoy in life. Take responsibility. Find the cause of all economic phenomena within yourself and make efforts to improve your situation. Be disciplined. Save money. Pay back the light and move toward the freedom you aim for. Increase your income. Build awareness and move towards financial freedom at a faster rate. Bodo Schäfer's Money is a book about money, but it focuses more on mindset that can be applied to all aspects of life. First published in German in 1998. It is an old book published in, but it is a great book that provides ideas that are still applicable even today. There are some regrets. The book was not written very kindly. It is also disappointing that it seems to be just a collection of fragments rather than a well-structured book as a whole. However, the wisdom contained in the book is still there. Wow, this insight is truly something you need to know regardless of the era, especially in these times of economic crisis. I sincerely recommend the book to our subscribers who will conquer money and enjoy complete freedom. YouTube is overflowing with content on how to become rich. We introduced a lot of such books, but these kinds of contents often lack specificity. They are definitely good content, such as the law of attraction or writing and reading your goals 100 times, but they often seem like a bit of a catchphrase. After watching those book videos, you will learn hard. My heart heats up thinking that I have to live and become rich, but I really don't know what to do and how to do it. If you are ignorant, you may be brave and have passion, but if you lack knowledge, accidents are bound to happen. So I prepared this video. In this video, I show you the 3 steps to most definitely achieve financial freedom. Let me introduce you to the formula. This 3-step formula is the content contained in Bodo Schäfer's Money, which was introduced in the previous video on how to achieve financial freedom according to the world's best. If the last video covered the general principles of becoming rich, today's video is about financial freedom that can be put into practice right away. This is a video that presents a roadmap. Then, let's start with Schäfer's Money, a real and realistic way to become rich that poor people do not know. Financial freedom can be achieved through the following 3-step process. Step 1. First, prepare an economic airbag. Step 2. Secure economic stability. Enjoy financial freedom in 3 steps. Bodo Schäfer explains each step and provides a specific formula for calculating the money needed for each step. Let's look at each step in detail. Step 1. First, prepare a financial airbag. If your income suddenly stops, suppose the people who borrowed money from you do not repay the money on time, or if you suddenly lose your job or get sick, how long can you live? In that situation, write down what the minimum amount of money you must spend even in such a crisis situation is. Now, let's say you get sick and have to quit your job. How long will it take for you to get healthy again and find a new job that you like? An economic airbag is the minimum amount of money needed to overcome a crisis when it occurs. The formula for calculating an economic airbag is the minimum cost multiplied by the time it takes to find the next job. Let's assume there is an ordinary office worker, A, who repays $2,400 per month in principal and interest on a home mortgage and spends $500 per month on vehicle maintenance, including fuel and insurance costs. Other insurance premiums are $1,500. Food expenses are $500. Apartment maintenance fees are $300 for utility bills such as natural gas. And communication expenses are $300 for family events and condolences. If you add it all up, the minimum monthly cost for living is $3,625. In addition, the occupation where B is A recruits electrical worker. Let's assume that it can take up to 12 months to find a new job. Then, AC's economic airbag is $3,625 times 12 months. Bodo Schäfer says that the first step to financial freedom is to create this economic airbag, even if no crisis situation occurs for a long time. You can only have peace of mind if you have enough money. Everyone has a desire to be protected. No matter how courageous a person is, he or she can do his or her job with ease only if he or she has a strong background. The path to financial freedom inevitably involves risks. So, the idea of securing an economic airbag may seem far from the way to become rich. But, what are the chances of success when you first try investing or running a business? 80% of people who invest in stocks lose money. 75% of self-employed people lose money. I will close my business within 5 years. No matter what challenge you take to become rich, you can expect that about 10% will fail. That is why we need an economic airbag. No matter how capable I am, if a major crisis like COVID-19 comes, I will inevitably fail. However, if there is an economic airbag, it will be a crisis. You can dream of taking a leap forward. Additionally, economic airbags provide psychological stability. When people are pushed to their limits, they lose their rationality. If you do business or invest with the mindset that if something goes wrong, you will go bankrupt, you will focus on short-term profits and make wrong decisions in the long term. It is easy to make a decision. Therefore, an economical airbag is essential for making wise decisions. However, it may seem like a small amount because it is an economical airbag, but 30 million won is not a small amount of money. So, how should we save this money? First, Bodo Schäfer says to make a budget. Many people say the reason you can't save money is because you spend everything you need and save what's left. Or, more accurately, you don't even know where and how much you're spending your money. How much did you spend on food last month? How much did you spend? Since you don't set a budget for each item, this is the amount. Spending little by little, saying it's okay, is eating up my savings. So, at least, at the stage of securing an economic airbag, you must write a budget too. Control your spending and figure out where your money is leaking. Also, Bodo Schäfer said, in the process of creating an economic airbag, they say to use absolutely safe investment methods. They tell you to save money in ways that you will never lose even if the returns are low, such as deposits, savings, and insurance. These methods are safe, but have low returns. You may feel that you are losing money in terms of returns. However, the most important thing at this stage is safety. From the beginning, if you use a high return investment method, it is not a problem whether you make a profit, but it is a problem if you make a profit. Everyone becomes greedy to do a little more. You can see money being copied. What is the difference between airbags and naked feet? Then, you forget the principle that safety comes first, and you keep taking bigger risks. If you fail, you will not be able to get back up again. If there is no profit, the completion of the airbag will be delayed, which is a problem. How much economical airbag do you need? Build an airbag for a crisis by setting a budget and controlling spending. Do it. The starting point to economic freedom is not to fail. Step 2. Secure economic stability. If you secure economic airbags, you can survive even when a crisis comes. But will there be any difference in our lives just because there are economic airbags? Economic airbags are the minimum level of safety. It's just a device. Economical airbags, which are only a minimum safety device, have a critical weakness. If an emergency situation arises, you have to spend the money you saved. Then, the crisis can be overcome, but the money will disappear. To provide a reliable safety device, you only need interest. We need to save up enough money to survive. Economic airbags are literally just safety devices. They can protect us from accidents, but once they are used, we have to rebuild them. So the next step to financial freedom is to make permanent airbags. Reportedly, Schäfer said, this is called economic stability. Economic stability means the state of being able to live only on interest without forgetting the principle.
So how much do you need to achieve economic stability? The S&P 500 index's average annual rate of return over 40 years is 8%. It is possible to live on only 8% interest. The amount can be calculated by multiplying the minimum cost determined earlier by 150. In the case of the office worker A in the example above, $3,000 multiplied by 150 is $450,000. As long as he has $450,000, Mr. A will have no problem making a living even if he quits his job immediately. However, economic stability cannot be easily accumulated through deposits alone, like an economic airbag. So, another investment method is needed. Bodo Schäfer introduces the 40-40-20 investment method for economic stability. Still keep 40% of your own capital in a safe place and 40% invest with a little bit of risk reduced. Now, invest the remaining 20% aggressively, 40% in safe deposit assets, 40% in stable investment products with long-term upward trends, such as listed stock funds and real estate, and 20% in high-yield products. However, the 20% who seek profits also refer to places where they can invest money in the long term, rather than speculative products or places that carry too much risk. Investments in well-located land and startups with excellent future growth potential are good, but, like derivatives, they do not have a deadline. Investments that are fixed or that may result in loss of more than the principal should be avoided. The hundreds of millions of dollars needed for economic stability is not as much money as you might hear from today's rich people, but it is a large amount that is difficult to recover if you lose it all. So even step 2 is important. It's safe, even though it may take a little time. If you steadily save money for financial stability, you can use all the money you earn for greater wealth. You can only build a tall tower on a foundation-like framework. When you have economic airbags and stability, you can become a truly wealthy person. You can start the game. Stage 3. Enjoy financial freedom. Stage 2. Economic stability alone can actually be said to have achieved economic freedom in a narrow sense. However, the standard for economic stability was literally the minimum amount of money needed. Anyone who can be satisfied with the minimum is okay, but for most people want more. They want to have a nice house, a car, go on a trip, and want to give to their parents and family. Excessive greed can be a problem, but simply wanting more is a very natural phenomenon. Now, let's pursue our dreams. Let's calculate how much money you need to achieve it. Bodo Schäfer says first, make a list of all the things you wish for. Write them down, without thinking about the ordeal of your wishes. First, check what your dream is, and find out how much it will cost. Once you have everything written down, write down, roughly, how much it will cost to get it. However, since you should never kill a goose, you should purchase anything that costs a lot of money on installments, mortgage. In this case, calculate how much the monthly installment amount will be. To simplify the calculation, real estate, the generally installment plan is 288 months, and other things are added. In general, let's assume there's a Mr. A, an office worker, wants to mortgage one-bedroom apartment in Vancouver. The cost of new one-bedroom apartment is $600,000 ad. Mr. A will be paying rugally $2,200 plus $250 for straight-a fee, $250 for utilities plus water, electricity. And Genesis class car costs a total of $80,000, which adds up to $2,500 per month. Mr. A really want to go overseas once or twice a year, so $3,000 a year for travel expenses, $500 for exercise and leisure. Let's assume that child support is $1,000 the bare minimum. Then, for Mr. A's needs to make roughly $7,000 per month. Economic airbag calculated using only the minimum cost of living. A large amount of money is needed that cannot be compared to economic safety. Therefore, a different investment method is needed than before. Bodo Schäfer said that if you have achieved financial stability, you can take a bigger adventure. They tell you to take the plunge. They say to find an investment product that provides at least 20% to 30% of return. You can use investment methods such as private equity, startup investment, real estate development business, leverage products, or starting your own business. Of course, the greater the profit, the greater the risk. Therefore, the important thing at this stage is to invest while maintaining the economic stability you have secured in advance. If economic stability is maintained, even if you fail, you can try again. Even if you fail to invest once or twice, the profits from other investments can sufficiently make up for the losses until you win. If you can take on the challenge, there is no game you can't win. For true economic freedom, endlessly challenge bigger goals on the foundation of economic stability. To achieve financial freedom, you must go through a 3-step process. Prepare for a crisis by creating an economic airbag and achieve economic stability. You need to create assets that allow you to live without working and then achieve great wealth through bigger adventures. The important thing is that all of these processes must be done sequentially. First, you must fill the economic airbags and then invest for economic stability. Even after achieving stability, when money is overflowing, you must take risks for financial freedom. The first rule of success is not to fail. Many people take excessive risks in the rush of success and profit. However, no matter how well their investments or businesses are at one moment, even if you slip without economic airbag stability, you will never be able to get up again. Rich people who have built up wealth over a long period of time know the importance of these 3 steps and always maintain a minimum economic base. However, those who get rich overnight think that success will last forever. They tend to be overly greedy and slip endlessly. The secret to making a truly rich person is not to make a lot of money in a short period of time. It is to grow by taking each of the 3 steps to financial freedom. Once again, Bodo Schäfer's money is given to all subscribers who want to achieve financial stability and freedom. I highly recommend it. I have previously uploaded a video introducing my 3 life books. Today, I am adding this book to that list. If you want to be good at exercising, you must learn from a skilled coach. If you want to be good at investing, you must learn from a rich person. In other words, if you want to learn something, you must learn from a rich person. You have to learn from people. The simplest way to gain experiences are reading a book or listen to podcast or follow my pathway walk with me. Of course, you want to learn from people who are good at it. So, if you want to be successful, You have to learn from successful people. But the problem is that there are too many successful people in the world, and it is difficult to meet them in person. We have no choice but to learn indirectly through the books they wrote. However, there are too many such books. Of course, it is best to read them all and learn directly, but reading few books is not the solution, and you might not have enough time to read all of them. The best for us. Most of our annual salary is around $50. 00070,000. Is it possible to make 10 times more within 13 years? The billionaire answered. Does it feel unrealistic? To be honest, it is. Then the billionaire calmly said, of course, if you want to change the reality you are in now, you will definitely need unrealistic goals and plans. Life doesn't change much unless you make drastic changes. Do you really want to become rich someday? To do that, you have to think like a rich person and act like a rich person right now. If you want to live as best as you can, there was no need to come to me. Zhuangzi took the young man to the garden. In the garden, there were a lot of huge pumpkins growing in abundance. But one pumpkin was particularly small. That pumpkin was growing in a glass bottle. The billionaire said that if you achieve your goal in life, you will be in the glass bottle. It's like a pumpkin. You have to live your life according to your goals. If your goal is for $1, life will give you exactly $1. This is the only advice I can give to young people. Bodo Schäfer says, is there anything you think is impossible now? That's your goal. It has to be. The moment you set an unrealistic and unreasonable goal, the turning point in your life begins immediately. A turning point does not come in one moment. People who set an unattainable goal and succeed in the entire process until they achieve it are turning. It's called a turning point. We always live our lives trying our best, but most of us don't succeed. The reason is because we tried our best at a realistic level. If you live the same as yesterday, you will only get the same results as yesterday. You should not set your life goals, but live your life according to your goals. If you insist on working while receiving a salary of $50,000, you can only set a goal of $60,000. On the other hand, if you set a goal of $100,000 and a goal of $10 million, you will think about how you can achieve your goal. Whether you are doing a side job, investing, or running a business, you realize that something needs to change. The moment you set an unreasonable goal, change begins. Those who want to go 100 meters in an hour can just walk, but those who want to go 100 kilometers, they wouldn't be walking. So, they will find a way to run faster than 100 kilometers per hour. In this way, goals change your thoughts and actions. Successful people have always been people who pushed for unreasonable goals while listening to crazy people. For ordinary people, their lives determine their goals. For successful people, their goals determine their lives. Do you have unreasonable goals? Second, find something you like. The age at which you are most suited to various trials and errors through choice is in your 20s. A powerful question at this age is, what kind of work do you like? It is not for the cliched reason that life is too short to do something you don't like every day. No matter what job you choose, you should be happy. This is because you have to compete with people who really like that job. Bodo Schäfer said that to be successful, you have to do what you like. Not because you have to do what you like to be happy, but because you have to compete with people who really like that job. Japanese during school days. There are some monsters who will never be able to beat even the top-level students in class. These are the so-called Japanese animation fanatics. They watch Japanese cartoons every day and never get tired of it. Even if they are at the bottom in all other subjects, 99% the students get 100%. People who really enjoy it like this are the ones who can fly and crawl no matter how many people come. You can't beat it. So if you want to succeed, you have to find something you enjoy and something you like. When I say do something you like, there's always a question that follows. I don't know what my favorite thing is. Of course, there are people who live their whole lives without knowing what they like. It's a placenta. I'll introduce you to 2 ways to find something you like according to winners. First, get out of the comfort zone. In general, people try to find their dreams and passion around what they are doing, but our true dreams are not something we have at all. It is often found in unexpected places. One of the obstacles to success is familiarity. When we are addicted to familiarity, we do not know whether we are happy when something awkward things happen. And when we experience misfortune, we do not know whether it is misfortune. We always see only what we see and hear only what we hear. Future hopes for children. When asked a children's dream, either they point out their parents' occupations or say teacher, civil servants, YouTubers, athletes, celebrities, etc. Of course, these are all good jobs, but the reason children say these jobs is simply because they are familiar with them. Office workers that they can see around them. The only things I have are my parents, relatives, and school teachers. When I turn on the broadcast, only athletes, celebrities, and YouTubers appear, so these are the only jobs I know. As an adult, it is not much different. I only meet the family, work colleagues, and friends I always meet, and I only do the activities I always do. So, I find my dream. I can't. There is no difference between the environment I saw when I was young and the environment I see now, but now I can't suddenly see a new dream. So in order to find my dream, I have to get out of my comfort zone. You have to go places, and that's how you can discover new dreams. Second, work hard at things you don't like. Bodo Schäfer says this: it may be hard, but you have to have the attitude of being willing to immerse yourself in things you don't like. When you try this, suddenly, a moment will come. Aha, I do think like that. It's not that I can't do it. I don't hate work that much. Is this more fun than I thought? Paradoxically, the work I like is found when I immerse myself in the work I don't like. Don't make assumptions, but first of all, the attitude of not reducing any risk is important. It is the most dangerous. There is only one way to guarantee success. If you do a few things, often, practice and train, the number of attempts will increase, so beyond today, the law of averages begins to apply. Then, you can calculate the probability of success in what you do. Failure: a person who lives a life without doing anything is like gambling by throwing the dice once or twice, risking everything in his life. Let's say that if you throw the dice and an odd number comes up, you get $10,000, and if an even number comes up, you lose $5,000. You can participate just once, or you can participate 100 times. I will do it a few times. Of course I will participate 100 times. You may lose money the first few times, but if you repeat it endlessly, eventually the law of averages will work and you will have no choice but to make money. But your friend throws the dice once. What would you say if I told you that I don't want to do it anymore because $5,000 per turn is risky? Of course, I feel the same. But what about in reality? I started YouTube out of curiosity, but gave up when it wasn't working well in the video kitchen. Bought 1 or 2 stocks, and when they crashed, I stopped investing in stocks. Story of dice. Even though the expected profit is much greater than the risk you incur when you try YouTube is only a little bit of equipment cost and the time required to produce the video. The only risk you incur when you invest is the loss of principal. However, in both cases, the reward for success is infinite. It's a game where you have no choice but to win if you throw the dice, but after just throwing the dice once or twice, you decide that you can't do it. First, risks exist in all areas of life, including investment, business, and human relationships. Taking risks is dangerous. Sometimes you fall while you're climbing toward a higher dream. You may get hurt, but as Bodo Schäfer says, are you living a risk-free life? Then you're curled up on the ground, unable to fall any further. It's better to make a bad decision than to make no decision at all. If there is a risk of falling, it means you are moving up. Are you climbing the wall for success? Are you staying at the bottom? As long as you keep working in the right direction, the law of averages will eventually work. If you use risk as an excuse to take no action, you will stay at the bottom forever. Not taking risks is the most dangerous thing to do. If you want to succeed, you must follow successful people. Successful people never put in too much effort. They are crazy about what they love. Sometimes, even if they fail and are embarrassed, they are willing to take risks again. Knowing that staying is the most dangerous, we constantly move forward. Bodo Schäfer's Winning Habits contains 30 common habits of winners. It contains essential guidance for everyone who wants to grow. And above all, this book is a parade of quotes. It is a book that provides strong motivation to readers with quotes that stick in their minds. I highly recommend this book to everyone who wants a better life than yesterday. Even if you have outstanding talent and skills, you cannot succeed if you are mentally weak. How many celebrity investors and businessmen have achieved flash results but failed to sustain their success, so they have become memories? The leaders, CEOs, and rich people who lead the world are all mental alchemists. It means the art of making gold. As the word alchemy implies, these are not people born with a mental ability, but people who created a golden mentality even in difficult circumstances with meager materials, namely insufficient talent. Bodo Schäfer, who went bankrupt at the age of 26 but became a millionaire at the age of 30, said that you, too, can create a golden mentality. Mental alchemy. I reveal the secret to creating a golden mentality. I will talk about thoughts that go beyond just one thing and create miracles contained in mental alchemy. Meanwhile, in the video, I will clearly show you that this is the mentality necessary for success. Let's start. First, hold on, and succeed. This is the definition of success and true victory. Many self-help books talk about success, but in fact, success is really simple. You just need to set the right actions and repeat them until you succeed. Set the right goals and actions and be patient. Being immersed is what success is all about. But why are so many people unable to do this simple thing? It's because they misunderstand patience. Patience is not about forcing yourself to endure something you don't want to do. No one can force you to endure that for a long time. Patience is the desire to do what you want is waiting for the right opportunity to arise. Patience is not about withstanding the onslaught of negative things. It is waiting for positive things to get their chance. The image that people think of when you think of patience is cold wind or getting punched. It looks like he is continuing to endure and persevere. But this is fake patience. Real patience is not about forcing yourself to endure situations you don't want, but waiting for the right moment to come true. Patience is about a new actor honing his skills while waiting for the day when he will one day prepare brilliantly as a leading actor. Let's hold on while looking at the audition result. Text message and the empty bank account balance. Holding on is torture, not patience. Studying to catch the investment season that comes once every 10 years and collecting seed money is patience. Let's hold on while holding on to the blue-tinged stock market. Holding on is patience. No, in other words, true perseverance is the process of developing skills for the day when your dreams come true. This perseverance becomes our life goal in itself. High pay and a great job cannot be our life goals. It's just a trophy that you get when you succeed in equipping it. The goal is always to have skills. The first secret to the golden mentality is patience for skills. Sit still and wait for the sunrise to come someday. Trying to persevere is just masturbation and mental victory. Constantly move forward and strive to improve your skills. Doing is real perseverance. There is a keyword for real people. It is driving force. It is always in motion and has the power to move, unless it has already begun to accelerate. In other words, if there is no driving force, one very minor obstacle can destroy the whole life. On the other hand, driving force is, if it is in operation, any obstacles are no problem. You can move forward without hesitation. Holding on with patience means that this driving force is in operation. Have you ever tried to push a car in neutral gear? What should you do to get the car moving for the first time? It varies depending on the type of car, but in general, you need to apply a lot of force. If it's a semi-large car or larger, you have to give it as much strength as you could to get it to move. But once the wheel starts rolling, from then on, you can just push it lightly and it will go on. Real patience is like a wheel that has started rolling, it will move forward. It's not about sleeping less and burning off for a day or two, but maintaining good habits such as reading a book for an hour a day and exercising for 30 minutes and turning on the engine. With the driving force working like this, it's much easier to speed up. Just add a little more effort. The more you do this, the faster your growth will accelerate. The problem is that this momentum also works in a negative way. If you repeat bad habits, such as waking up 30 minutes late to watch only one episode of The Youngest Son of a Chable Family, then watching 3 episodes, and looking at your smartphone, inertia develops in a bad way. So, if there is an action that gets in the way of success, you must boldly stop that action before it accelerates further. Success is simple. It is a game that you win if you set the right direction, exercise patience, and persevere. Persevering does not mean sitting still and taking on all kinds of pain, but continuing to grow. It's about moving forward, maintaining habits that are beneficial to you and not turning off the engine of success is the real patience. Do you have patience? Second, overcome fear. We all dream of challenges sometimes. Should I try YouTube, start a business, apply for a big project, etc. There are various challenges, but 99% of people don't even take on challenges. What is the reason we hesitate to take on challenges? It's because of fear. The fear of failure and worry about how people around us will view us makes us unable to take on challenges and falls into worry. Mental alchemists. They say this: when do we feel the most pain? When we are scared and our faces are filled with fear, thinking that it will be painful. When the pain actually begins, we realize that it is not so much that we cannot overcome it. The pain is strongest before we experience it, and then it gradually becomes weaker. When we fall into our biggest fears, it's when we worry about pain. When we get caught up in thoughts like, what if people laugh at me? What if this project goes wrong? But most of the time, when it happens, it's not that painful. If I break up with my first love, my world will fall apart. It seems like you'll never be able to go again, but now there's someone else next to you. Before you go to the military, you'll have all kinds of worries, such as, when will you go? I'm behind now, and I'm excited. But when you actually go, it's fun in its own way and it goes faster than you think. Oh, of course, if we go again, we won't go. What makes it really difficult is not the situation, but the emotion of worry and fear. Pain has no mass. There is only the intensity of the emotion that makes it feel pain. A breakup is usually 90, a job loss is 100, and the amount of pain is not determined in this way. Likewise, even after a breakup, one person quickly returns to normal life, while the other person experiences deathly pain. So, if we can handle our emotions well, we can create a golden mentality that can overcome any fear and pain. There are specific ways to control emotions. Let me tell you, we often say this to our colleagues: I am worried right now. In the future, replace these words with the following: I have a problem to solve now. It is not true that I am worried. The correct expression is that the schedule is not an object that exists. Things that need to be resolved are problems, conflicts, trials, difficulties, etc. Worries arise out of thin air and then disappear into thin air. If you get into the habit of accurately pointing to an existing object, your worries will decrease dramatically. Instead of vaguely saying, I have a worry, say exactly, I have a problem. Instead of saying, I'm worried about retirement, I should say, I have a problem with not having enough funds for retirement. There is substance to the problem, so all you have to do is solve the reality. Calculate the money you need for retirement and how much you should save for it. You can study investment methods by calculating what % return you need. However, there is no substance to the word, I'm worried. Since there is no substance, there is no solution. Defining the problem clearly is the way to overcome worry and fear. Another way is gratitude. The only way to overcome the darkness is to fill the darkness with light. Don't we all know that trying to dig out the darkness or fight against it is futile? Vague worries are like darkness. They are invisible to the eye, and no matter how hard you try to shake them off, even if you try to chase it away, you can't reach it. The only solution to defeat the darkness is light. The light that defeats the darkness of worry is gratitude. Rather than worrying about what you don't have or what hasn't happened, it's better to be thankful for what you have and enjoy the reality. How to defeat the biggest enemy that stops you from taking on the challenge of success is worry and fear. The secret to defeating this enemy is to face that this enemy is just an emotion. The moment you define a clear problem to solve, the intangible enemy disappears. Also, thank you. When you illuminate the darkness of worry with the light, the path to success appears in the darkness. Third, turn your problems into gold. Many people long for financial freedom, but when you ask why they want financial freedom, people just say, it's good to have a lot of money. Because they don't want to worry about money. The answer is yes. Mental alchemists say this: rich people are people who are financially free. So becoming rich means that you have to find answers to problems that cannot be solved with money. Those are very difficult things. I am still rich. It's bad, but it would be nice to be rich. You don't have to force yourself to do things you don't want to do, and many of the world's problems can be solved with money. However, just because the money problem is solved, doesn't mean that all life's problems disappear. As the mental alchemists say, there are answers to easy problems that can be solved with money. After solving all the problems, we now have to answer difficult problems that cannot be solved with money. Now, there will be philosophical problems such as what to live for, as well as bigger practical problems such as tax, law, and inheritance issues that ordinary people would not have to face. Oh, my head hurts. If you don't become rich, that's not true. If you do, you have to answer bigger and more complex problems. But if you don't become rich, you have to spend your life solving only simple and trivial problems that can be solved with money. What's important here is how you define the problem. The poor have one problem. They recognize it and define meeting their limits as a failure. So they try to avoid problems at all costs. On the other hand, rich mental alchemists view problems as opportunities. The bigger the problem, the stronger they will become when they solve it, and they are willing to welcome the problem. You can't grow muscles with light dumbbells. If you can't grow muscles with light dumbbells, shouldn't you be willing to accept them and be happy when you encounter difficult trials and problems? Aren't difficult trials and problems the best dumbbells to grow muscles? Nietzsche kills me. He said, the pain of not being able to do it only makes me stronger. The reason mental alchemists were able to achieve wealth and success is because they learned and grew through problems. I said earlier that when you become rich, you have to answer bigger and more complex problems. In the first place, rich people have problems. There is no such thing as an opportunity. You can never succeed if you perceive a problem as a difficulty and try to avoid it at all costs. Rather, you must see the problem as an opportunity and actively seek out the problem. The more you can answer the bigger problem, the more successful you will be. Stumbling does not mean that you are failing at something. It means that you are facing an important hurdle that must be passed in order to succeed in something. What is a problem to you? For successful people and rich people, problems are gold. Welcoming problems and turning them into opportunities is a golden mentality. This is the final secret to creating. All wealth and success is determined by the mentality. Success without the mentality is just a sand castle washed away by the waves. Mentality is not something you are born with. Anyone can become an alchemist who creates a golden mentality for success. Hang in there. Patience is success. It's all about not just enduring the negative things, but developing your skills until the positive things get a chance. Pain has no mass. What really makes it difficult is the size of the fear. Define the problem clearly and dispel the darkness of fear with the light of gratitude. Drive away problems and turn them into gold. Problems are just dumbbells that will make us stronger. No one succeeds without a strong mentality. And no one can keep that success forever. Great achievements come from a golden mentality that can overcome any adversity. Book Talk. We sincerely support our subscribers who will create a golden mentality and eventually achieve success with these helpful thoughts.